Be'ez Hashem Siman Mem Hey haGuela. Ella afilu l'shitasam hakozev. So in the previous siman, he made this point that first of all, al pi the Torah, we should give up the state, and Hashem will protect us because He says that it would take away the charoinaf, and Hashem would make sure nothing happens to the Jews. Secondly, al pi derech hateva, the UN could make sure that nothing happens, and the state is not necessary, and it's not worth giving up one Jewish life for the state. Then he says like this: afilu l'shitasam, even according to them, hakozeves, even according to the false shita of the Zionists, shechafetzim v'roitzim b'kiyuma shalom gid, that they do want the existence of the state. Liyos kechol goyim, they want to be a state like all their states. Ulamalos tavas levav, they want to fulfill their desires. Ba'akiras hadas, and they want to uproot the existence of religion. They want to uproot the Torah, to use their government to make laws against the Torah. So that's their goal. So in the Chanami, I understand, he's saying, I understand why the secular Zionists made the 6-Day War. It makes sense according to them, right? They want to have a state, they want to rule over Jews. It all is internally consistent. The problem is the religious Zionists and the religious Agudists. He says, them, how could they agree to the war? The religious that go along with them. They say that this war was something that the Torah allows. The whole start of the war and the reason for the war was only because of the rights to the waters, the rights to the Straits of Tiran, to bring ships from Eilat down to the Indian Ocean. That the Nasser moved his army into the Sinai Peninsula and said, we're closing the Straits of Tiran to Israeli shipping, right? And that was the reason why they went to war. So the Rebbe says, if they would give up on this, he says, forget about the state. Let's say you want to have a state, fine. Give up on the water. Give up on the passage. There wouldn't be any war. Was that even one of their plans? Did they even think? Did they try to see what would happen if they would give up on the water? Could they leave Noah and Mukham in order to prevent warfare? No, obviously the Zionists didn't say that. They said, no, we're not going to show weakness. We're not going to surrender to the Nasser and whatever. Right? They didn't consider the idea of giving up. All the leaders of the other nations, he's here. They all warned them. They said it's possible to find a way out of this war. Right? Johnson said
Svach is there.
Svach is like a thicket of bushes that you're stuck in. So the Israelis felt themselves were stuck in a thicket. So Johnson said, no, we'll figure out a way. We'll send an international flotilla to open up the straits. We'll figure something out. Maybe he wasn't going to do it right away, but he was going to do it, or he was going to do something, right? There's a way. He would lead negotiations. There wouldn't have to be a war. You never really have to have a war if you're not stubborn, you know? Is it possible, is it mutter, according to the Torah, to give up Jewish blood, Jewish lives, bishvil schus ma'avar mayim, just to get this water, this straits? Even if you're going to say that wouldn't have helped, but you should at least try, right? You're mechuyev to try all possible peaceful approaches before you go to war. Do anything in the world, even to give up on the water, to prevent war. But the Zionists didn't do that. They did the opposite. They did, with a play on words, they actually were quick like water. They were trigger happy. They went into the war, to go quickly into the war without trying other possibilities first. Because that, why did they do it? Because the Zionists have a long history of not caring about Jewish lives. They put Jewish lives on the line for the sake of their own pride and their own success, victories. and this that religious newspapers write these made up ideas, svaras, that the milchama was necessary, that there was no way out of it, there was no way to escape from it. So all the different, you can imagine what the Rebbe is referring to. There must be like shtiklach Torah written on this to explain why the war is mechemes mitzvah. Maybe if you look in Kashr's book, maybe you'll see some of them. But he says, "Ein kedai l'tapel behevlehem." I don't know. He says it's not worth even dealing with it. And to go and slug up all their arguments. It doesn't really matter at this point. Why? He says one thing is clear to everybody who has a mind. Anyone who has a straight thinking brain. That you can't just give up Jewish lives because of a svar you have. You think that the war might be a mechemes mitzvah. That's not enough of a reason to go and give up lives. Sakana, chas v'shalom, to give up Jewish lives to danger. Even the human intellect, the human instinct is against this. So you don't even have to be a Talmud Chacham to understand that you don't just go to war because you have a svara to make a shtickle Torah that this is a mechemes mitzvah. Okay.